Moving on to Hearts and Heads Explode. Well, let me just say that as happy as I was with the first Repos album, when this one came out, they just hit the reset button and blew everyone's fucking minds all over again. The entire city, well, the punk scene at least, just flipped out when this came out because it is an absolute fucking masterpiece. When the Repos have a lot of material, okay, they're always recording shit. Maybe not so much anymore because they've all got other stuff going on. But when the Repos were a band, they released a lot of stuff. I would call them prolific. Hearts and Heads Explode is the Repos Bible. Okay, it is the absolute masterpiece of the band. Never been topped. Not saying all the rest of their shit isn't amazing too, because it is. But Hearts and Heads Explode is the best thing that they did. And that's why I'm talking about it. We'll start out with the artwork. It's just a ghost, a guy in a sheet. Pretty cool. He's like in between like two cabinet doors or something. It's kind of a creepy image. The back of the record is literally the same thing, but it's like a slightly different photograph. It's got like a little glare there. But yeah, you know, when I'm flipping this over, I accidentally flip it over the wrong way because the images are reversed. But yeah, it's a really, really cool album cover. Very eerie. Got a really, really awesome Repos logo right at the top. Doesn't say the name of the record, but just trust me, it's called Hearts and Heads Explode. You can also find this on YouTube, full album. It's like also 12 minutes, over before you know it. This album is... The recording is a little more distorted and raw sounding than this, which kind of has like a cleaner production to it. This is just like more noisy, but just still sounds great. And it's just, every song is less than like 40 seconds long. And it's just like two riffs and then it's over. A lot of Youth of Today inspired riffs on this. You can hear it, and a lot of like Youth of Today, like Porcel squeals, like drumming is like, you know, the first Repos album is kind of sloppy when it comes to the drumming. The drumming tightens up a lot on this. I think because the songs are just like, and then it's over. It's just like, you know, there's not a lot of like breakdowns on this. There's kind of like more like breakdowns on this where you could kind of like start a mosh pit to it, you know. But this, it's like, there's not really many mosh-worthy parts. However, I'll get to this in a minute, but there is the hardest break on any punk record. I'm going to say this about every record that I talk about, but at the end of this record, or at least towards the end, is a break that is just like, I am getting chills just thinking about it. And I was talking to my friend Max, who plays in Devil's Den, Kansas City hardcore band. Very good. Check them out. I was talking to Max once, and I was like, dude, the breakdown in Hearts and Heads Explode, the actual title track of this, is maybe the hardest thing that I've ever heard. And you know what? It's not like a metalcore part. There's no like palm muting chugs or anything. It's just a basic Youth Crew drum beat and just a chanted Hearts and Heads Explode. And if I were watching them play this right now, as a 36-year-old with a mortgage, a wife, a 15-month-old daughter, I would fucking hit somebody in the face to that part. And whatever happened from there, I guess my family would have to deal with it. And I would have to deal with it. And my mom and dad would have to deal with it. You know, if I got like arrested for assault or something. I'm just saying that's what would happen if I saw them play this song again. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't really go to a lot of shows, and the Repos don't play much. But, you know, God help me if it does. Because it is the most ridiculously hard non-mosh part ever. Back to this record. Yeah, it's just fast all the way through. I want to say, you know, let's check how many songs are on it. There are... There, it looks like close to 20 songs on it, like 16, 17 songs on it. But yeah, 12 minutes. So you can guess how fast it's over. It's something else. The Repos artwork was very obscure. They didn't really have like their lyrics printed in a way that traditionally bands do. In this record, I always thought this was really cool. It's just like a conglomeration of all the lyrics in one big paragraph. They're not really like in order. It's just like, it's almost like poetry. And it's very dark. You get an image of basically like dirt roads in like a rural area and just like ghosts and like terrifying like bad memories and like drug abuse, and it's just like it paints a picture of just like a miserable isolated life. And yeah, that's just like what they chose to do for the lyrics, is just kind of like take lines out of it and put it in a big paragraph. So yeah, I just wanted to say a little bit about that because it kind of adds to the aura of the album. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and just say that both of these Repos albums are classics. Whoop! Both of these Repos albums are classics. They're Chicago hardcore classics, and they are modern hardcore classics. The Repos were a band that definitely wore their influences on their sleeves, but there is nothing like them. And there's nothing like them in terms of a live experience either. And I just want to say, if anybody from the Repos is watching this, like, thank you. Thank you for creating this band that means the world to me. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. And they're not like a classic 80s band or anything like that. They are a very modern band, and they did it. They reinvented every single style that they put together to form their band, and arguably did it better. So yeah, that's all I got to say about the Repos. I'm going to go ahead and call this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.